Welcome to the judge video for Double Masters. I'm Serge.
And I'm Nelson. This set has a lot of mechanics, over 20. We definitely don't have time to cover each and every one, so we're going to focus on a couple of the trickier ones. When you're playing a set like this, remember to take your time and read the cards. There's a lot of very helpful reminder text. Ever feel like you don't get enough value out of your equipment? Well, with a living weapon, your gear comes with its own body, even if it is a 0/0. Living weapon means, when this equipment enters the battlefield, create a 0/0 black germ creature token, then attach this to it. The germ token enters the battlefield as a 0/0 creature and the equipment becomes attached to it before state-based actions would cause the token to die. Abilities concerned with power and toughness see a 0/0 enter the battlefield. Living weapons have an equip cost. You can pay this cost to attach an equipment to another creature you control. Once the germ token is no longer equipped, it will be put into your graveyard and subsequently cease to exist, unless another effect raises its toughness above 0. If the germ token is destroyed, the equipment remains on the battlefield as with any other equipment.
Tired of your creatures dying? Well, slap Regenerate on that bad boy and it'll stick around. Well, not forever. Let's be honest, there's actually quite a few ways around this mechanic. When you regenerate a permanent, you're creating a replacement effect shield to be used later. That effect means the next time that permanent would be destroyed this turn, instead remove all damage marked on it and tap it. If it's attacking or blocking creature, remove it from combat. It's important to note that this is a one-time shield. Like many activated abilities, you can activate Regenerate at instant speed. It's important to note that you must have Regenerate activated before your creature would die. It's too late to try and save it after it's dead. You can't activate Regenerate after combat. A permanent can regenerate even if it's already tapped. A permanent that regenerates doesn't leave or enter the battlefield. Abilities that trigger on a creature dying or entering the battlefield won't trigger if a creature regenerates. What if you control a creature with a regenerate shield and the following happens? Destroy? It regenerates. Lethal damage? It regenerates. Exile? It goes to exile. Sacrifice? It goes to the graveyard. Toughness is reduced to 0 or less. It goes to the graveyard. And in the odd case that you get 2 copies of the same legendary creature, one of them has to leave.
While not a mechanic, copying permanents is a major theme in this set and can get a little tricky. Let's go over how it works. When copying a permanent, copy exactly what is printed on the object it's copying and nothing else. It doesn't copy whether a permanent is tapped or untapped, whether it has any counters on it, or auras or equipment attached to it, or any non-copy effects that changed its power, toughness, types, color, and so on. Most notably, if something copies a creature that's not normally a creature, the copy won't be a creature. You get a copy of the card, not what its current state is in the game. If a copied permanent is copying something else, the new copy copies whatever that permanent is copying. Some notes on this. If a copied permanent has X in its mana cost, X is 0. Any enters the battlefield abilities of the copied object will trigger if the copy is entering the battlefield. However, if a permanent that's already on the battlefield becomes a copy of another object, these abilities won't apply since nothing new is entering the battlefield. If an aura is put onto the battlefield without being cast, such as by being created as a token copy or a permanent entering the battlefield as a copy of an aura, the copy's controller-to-be chooses what it will enchant as it enters the battlefield. An aura put onto the battlefield this way doesn't target anything, but the aura still needs to attach to the right kind of thing. This can create a situation where an aura can be attached to an opponent's permanent with hexproof. If an aura token can't legally be attached to anything, it isn't created. If a permanent becomes a copy of an aura, it's put into its owner's graveyard unless it's already attached to something it can legally enchant. Somehow.
The final topic we want to cover today is copying spells. There are effects in this set that allow you to copy a spell on the stack. This can be tricky, so let's go over how it works. If an effect instructs you to copy a spell and says that you may choose new targets for the copy, that effect can copy any appropriate spell, not just one with targets. The copy is created on the stack, so it's not cast. Abilities that trigger when a player casts a spell won't trigger. A copy of a spell will resolve before the original spell does. The copy will have the same targets as the spell it's copying unless the effect allows you to choose new ones. If so, you may change any number of the targets, including all of them or none of them. If, for one of the targets, you can't choose a new legal target, then it remains unchanged even if the current target is illegal. If the spell that's copied is modal, that is, it says choose one or the like, the copy will have the same mode. A different mode can't be chosen. If the spell that's copied has an X value, the copy will have the same value of X. If the spell has damage divided as it was cast, the division can't be changed, although the targets receiving the damage still can. The same is true of spells that distribute counters. The controller of a copy can't choose to pay any alternative or additional costs for the copy. However, effects based on any alternative or additional costs that were paid for the original spell are copied as though those same costs were paid for the copy. Thanks for watching, and enjoy playing Double Masters.
Reminder, if you have any questions, get a hold of the judge.